Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chicken Wrap's General Purpose Ekko Guide. Ekko is a time-themed assassin character who utilizes the hand of a clock to mercilessly bash his opponent's faces in. To begin, we'll go over runes and masteries. For runes, I like the typical mage setup, taking magic penetration marks, scaling armor or health seals, and scaling MR or flat AP glyphs, and flat AP quintessences. If you're pressed on IP, I'd go with penetration marks, scaling defensive glyphs, and seals, and flat AP quints. For masteries, 2109 seems like a good choice here. Ekko's already squishy enough, being built as a glass cannon, so the defensive tree bonuses won't benefit you as much as the utility tree will. For summoner spells, Ghost, Heal, Flash, and Ignite are all solid choices. I would almost go so far as to argue that Ekko doesn't need Ignite more than he needs a second defensive summoner spell. For items, I'd look into the following. Starting with a Doran's Ring and 2 health potions sets you up for a decent early game, unless you're against a poke-heavy champion, in which case, take the Flask. From there, you'll want an Aether Wisp and Boots of Speed. Finish Luden's Echo as soon as possible and grab Sorcerer's Shoes shortly after, unless you feel that shoes are needed sooner. From there, Lichbane's probably your best bet, followed up with Deathcap, then Zhonya's, and Void Staff, in whichever order you choose. If you decide to build Bruiser Ekko, however, you'll be looking into items like Abyssal Scepter, Zhonya's, Sorcerer's Shoes, Lichbane, Rod of Ages, and perhaps a Guardian Angel. A few other good buys on Ekko include the Hextech Gunblade or the Will of the Ancients. Ekko's very squishy, and he's an assassin. Being able to cast spells faster, or even keep himself sustained through his Q and E casts is great, and the health you get back from using your ultimate is fantastic if you hit one person. Just think about if you hit 2. Morella Nomicon, or Athene's Unholy Grail. As before, cooldown reduction's a nice stat on Ekko, and the mana regen won't be passed up either. Since Ekko tends to run out of mana if he's being very liberal with his mana usage, these 2 items can be a very good addition to your build path. Nash's Tooth. Parallel Convergence synergy. That's pretty much it. Going into Ekko's abilities, we have his passive, Z-Drive Resonance. This is yet another basic 3-hit proc spell which deals 15 plus 12 times Ekko's level, plus an extra 70% of his AP in magical damage. Of course, this is subject to change based on buffs or nerfs that Riot may give him over the course of his existence. Characters will be slow by 40, 50, 60, 70, or 80% for 2, 2.5, or 3 seconds based on Ekko's level. If the character hit as a champion, Ekko will also gain a movement speed boost akin to the slow that was applied to his target. The passive proc applies Rylai's and also Spellvamp. His Q, Timewinder, is a long-range skill shot that returns to Ekko after a delay, dealing more damage as it returns than it does going out. The spell deals a grand total of 280 plus 80% of Ekko's AP at rank 5 and slows for 80% when the spell is at the apex of its throw. His W, Parallel Convergence, deals no damage whatsoever. Instead, it creates an image of Ekko that everyone can see when Ekko casts it. However, none of Ekko's opponents will see where the spell will land until just moments before it lands. When the spell lands, opponents are slowed by 40% in a large radius. If Ekko enters the radius at any time after the spell finishes casting and before it dissipates, enemies within will be stunned for 2.5 seconds and Ekko will gain a shield for 2 seconds, which works even if he stuns nobody. The shield at rank 5 shields for 330 plus 80% of his AP. The spell also has a passive effect, which makes Ekko's basic attacks deal 5% plus 1.8% per 100 AP of his target's missing health as bonus magic damage, as long as his target is below 30% of their maximum health. His E, Phase Dive, has a 325 cast range. From there, Ekko will gain 300 bonus range to his next auto attack. This means that you need to click on your opponent to jump to them, not recast the spell. In total, the range is 325 plus 425 from Ekko's basic attack range of 125 and the 300 bonus from the spell, leading it to be a 750 range spell. At rank 5, it deals 170 plus 20% of Ekko's AP in damage, but it procs on hit effects like Lichbane, and it works on structures. His R, Chronobreak is a spell that allows Ekko to return to where he was 4 seconds ago, dealing 500 plus 130% of his AP in magic damage at rank 3, and it heals himself for 200 plus 3.3% per each 100 AP of his total health. The spell is an area of effect spell with a decent range. Ekko's ultimate is very obvious when it's up because a hologram of Ekko will follow him around with a trail displaying where Ekko will be when he reactivates the spell. If the hologram isn't there, Ekko's ultimate isn't up and he has no way to escape. Keep note, however, that Ekko's ultimate allows him to dodge any spell, including a Karthus ultimate.
Welcome to the section.
Ekko's Q will travel back to where he is, no matter how far away he is from it. Your W reveals the fog of war, including units in bushes, which is extremely useful for checking for enemy players. If you're worried about global odds hitting you while you're running back to base, be sure to use your W as soon as you can just outside your spawn, so you'll run into it before you reach the spawn, giving you a nice shield to deter any unwanted deaths from global ultimates. Your E can be utilized to jump over walls and more. If you're out of a ward and you need to dash over to a nearby jungle minion, use your W for free line of sight. Your R can send you across the map. If you go back to base or teleport elsewhere on the map and then hit the spell before the 4 seconds have passed, you'll return right back to where you used to be. Thanks for watching my general purpose Ekko guide. If you like what you saw, feel free to leave a like or a comment. If you didn't, go ahead and tell me why. If you have a certain champion you'd like me to make a guide for, let me know, and I'll see what I can do for you. Once again, thanks for watching, and have fun.